us have been sitting into positions for a very long time. We haven't been ladder climbing. We haven't been ladder climbing, guys. And it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. And we haven't been ladder climbing and looking at ways that we can continue to earn more money, challenge ourselves, get a seat at the table, invite others to have a seat at the table, and so forth. Ladder climb, guys. That's why we talk about it very much on this channel, because it's preventing us from being stagnant. And it's encouraging us to continuously learn and grow. And to help others achieve their goals as well, too. But sometimes we get that six-figure job and become very, very comfortable in saying, you know what, guys, I've made it. I'm getting paid $120,000. Now I can go out and ball out. And then you sit in a row for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. Then you get replaced. And then you think it's the company's fault. Or you get somebody who comes in because you're making $120,000 and a new hire comes in and they're getting paid $130,000 and you find out, oh man, you upset. And then next thing you're like, shit. But whose fault is that? Whose fault is it? Have you been asking for more? Have you been doing more? Have you been going to other companies to increase your earnings? Whose fault is it? Nobody else's fault but yours. All right, let's get to this one. The Great Resignation is creating massive pay disparities between new hires and current employees at tech firms like Google and Amazon, sparking tensions on the team and a ripple effect of departures. People getting mad, man. They're getting all upset. They're getting all upset. They're bringing in new people to these roles. You've been sitting there for 3 or 4 years and they're making, $10,000, $20,000 more than you are. And you got more education, more years of experience. You over there like this. Damn! And many of you are like this. You're angry, pounding on the desk, thinking it's everybody else's fault but yourself. That's what happens. That's what happens. You're like, man, I should have got that manager role. They brought in a new manager. Probably because you didn't ask for the manager position and you thought that they were going to give it to you. At the end of the day, guys, we are responsible for our careers. We're responsible for how much money we want to make and how much we're going to be getting paid. Nobody else. All right. The tech industry is hiring at a breakneck pace. Oh my God. Sometimes I hear myself say some things. I'm like, what? The tech industry is hiring at a breakneck pace. And some job seekers are more than doubling their salaries by jumping companies. The co-workers they're leaving behind are having a very difficult and a very different experience. Some employers who have stayed put say they're burned out from having to increase their workloads to cover the empty roles. Plus, employees, managers, and others with insight into compensation at tech companies tell Insider new hires are being paid significantly more than the current base salaries and outpacing current employees' pay, which has caused tension on teams. People are balling up their fists, saying, I ain't doing this extra work. Why am I doing this extra work? When Billy just came in and he's making more than I am, and I'm doing his job. Ooh, heated. The discrepancy in putting some companies in different situations. Current employees have no incentive to stay and filling those roles with new hires, some of whom have less expertise. It's getting more expensive. The problem is squeezing even the biggest tech companies. An internal Google survey recently obtained by the Insider showed that a rising number of employees said their total compensation wasn't competitive compared with similar jobs at other companies. While 63% of Googlers said that their compensation was competitive in the last year's survey, only 53% said the same in 2022. Well, guys, that's why I also tell you this. Put yourself on the market. If you're not happy with what you're getting paid right now, you got to change it yourself. Put yourself out to the market. Apply. See what you're worth. See what other companies are going to pay you. Don't just sit there and be upset. Don't just sit there and be upset. Put yourself out there to the market. See how much you're worth. Once you get that offer, if you like the company that you're at, even though they ain't paying you, you can use that as leverage. Or you can say, bye-bye. Bye. I'm going somewhere else. One Google engineer who requested anonymity because he wasn't authorized to speak with the press told Insider a noticeable number of colleagues left Google in the past year for offers with higher pay. He said his colleagues were openly discussing pay and competing in offers in light of the red-hot job market. He added that he'd seen employees hired this year being paid considerably higher salaries than those who left. Yeah, it happens. While it's not official company data, posts on sites like Glassdoor's, Levels, FYI are also leading employees to find pay discrepancies between themselves and new hires. Levels.fyi shows a level 3 San Francisco Google employee who's been at the company for 3 years making $150,000 a year, for example. Meanwhile, a Google employee in the same position level and location joined amid the Great Resignation a year ago was listed at $192,000. It creates morale problems because people coming in are less qualified yet make more than you. So now you know financially it is in your best interest to leave, the Google employee said. You don't want to be a survivor because if you are a survivor, it means everyone around you is gone. Other tech workers, managers, and experts told Insider strict pay brackets and limits on raises contributed to the problem, and that some companies were even drastically changing their pay structures in desperate attempts to keep up. Yeah, you got a lot of companies like, Apple offering all sorts of bonus, right? All sorts of bonus pay and so forth to keep their employees, employee retention bonuses. Amazon increasing their base pay. It's a lot. It's a lot. Let me jump over this real quick. I got 1 second. Oh, okay. Let me get back. The widening difference between market and pay and current pay is the problem that reached critical mass. The problem largely lies in the difference between market pay and competitive salary used to attract new hires and current pay, which is what a company pays an existing employee. Companies sometimes have strict limits on raises, but even when they don't, the budget for employee raises might not be enough to keep up with the competitiveness of the market. Guys, this is basically telling you right now, if you're in this position where you're at a company and you're not happy with how much you're getting paid because you're seeing that others are getting paid more in a role than you are, and you've been there for some years, then it's time for you to leave if you want to make more money. Otherwise, it's time for you to ask for more. Either you have two options, really. You can leave, get compensated based on what the market's willing to pay you, or you can ask for more. And if you ask for more and you don't know how to do it, or if you want to ask for more and you don't know how to do it, book a coaching session with me and I'll share with you how to go about doing that. Let me get this off the screen real quick. Had a chat come through. Wanted to make sure. Perfect. All right, good. Guys, it's important. It's important to think about how much money you want to make, and also important for you to think about how much you're worth on the market today and how to find that out. You find that out by putting yourself out there, by applying to other positions and so forth. Going through the interview process, seeing what other companies are paying, doing the research. And if you love the company that you're working for, you may be, at a company for 8 years and you're like, you know what? I like this company. I see a path to the top. I got equity, I got stock, but you know what? Somebody else just came in and making more than me. And they ain't shit. Well, you can choose to ask for more, or you can choose to leave. That's your choice. But again, it comes down to you. Nobody else is going to make this decision for you. Guys, that's what I wanted to leave on this on this article here, is that there's a lot of this going on in tech right now, and you may see it. Matter of fact, I had a coaching session with a smart gentleman who flat out told me that he was getting paid less than people who came into the company. He's working for a big time corporation. But the question goes back to me asking the question of, are you asking for more? Because a lot of us are willing to accept 4% raises a year. That's not a lot of money, guys, especially now in this economy that we're in now. But what are you doing? Are you just expecting to do your work, execute, knowing you're taking on additional responsibilities, and not ask for more? If they're giving you more, you should be asking for more. If you don't know how to ask for more, book a coaching session with me. I can work that out with you and share my experience of what's allowed for me to consistently get promoted. I ask for it, guys. I ask for increased responsibilities. I ask for a lot more money too. And I get it. I do pretty well for myself.